Always like to give people a heads up on the recording. So brief introduction. I think most of you know who I am, but for those of you who don't know me, I'm Cheryl Sanchez. I'm the founder of the Networks organization and the author of The Journey of Success, Even When Success is Just Getting Out of Bed. The Networks is a network of leaders, forward thinkers, entrepreneurs who have joined together to realize success and to create and foster positive social impact. If you're interested in learning more about me, our members, or the networks, you can visit our website at thenetworks.org or find us on social media. Tonight is our first event of 2022, Plan Your Vision. We'll talk about our vision for the year, that is our plans, our goals, our resolutions, whatever you like to call them. It's meant to get people thinking about what matters most in their lives and to set goals accordingly. It's a collaborative event, so everyone's welcome to participate. And we have a few speakers this evening who also share their ideas. For people that are interested in a vision board or journal, some of us may be creating or adding to a vision board or vision journal. I've got mine right here. We were talking about that a little bit. That's my vision board from last year. So I'm looking for some inspiration to add to it for this year. So what's a vision board? Simply, it's a visual representation of your goals, your dreams, your intentions. You could start fresh and create a new one. You can build one off of one you made previously. It could be an actual board like that. It could be a journal instead if you prefer to hold on to something. And either way, it should be something that you'll see every single day so that you could visualize what it is that you want to see. So creating effective vision boards and goals typically consists of a few things. Deciding on what big goal or goals you want to work towards, thinking about how you will enjoy your life while pursuing those goals, including gratitude, and putting those ideas into some sort of visual so that you could remember it all the time. And let's talk about goals and resolutions and all that. Some people like to use a new year as a fresh start for goals. Some like a fresh start, like a month or a season or a week. And I'm that kind of person. I sometimes need like that identifier for starting a new goal, whether it's a new year, a new month, a Monday. I know one person on this call has got some opinions about calling things resolutions, right, Jay? You're on mute. You want to share with us some of your thoughts about New Year's resolutions?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I was just messing with you. It's just, you know, one of these things. And by the way, if it's noisy in the back, because I'm at is it noisy, Cheryl, or is it okay?
You're okay. Otherwise, we know okay. It's just what, kids fighting, ninja moves?
It's just kids. That's right. That's ninja. That's exactly where I'm at, Cheryl. I'm at Ninja Nation with my 12-year-old son. No, I said the resolutions sometimes can be a fallacy because everybody gets geared up for them, and 2 weeks into the year, a month into the year, they're gone, and it could be a letdown. It could be self-sabotage because you get so discouraged that you're like, this is already off. The year's off to a bad start already. So I think that sometimes resolutions are something that if you don't do them right, and I talked about that on LinkedIn, how do you do resolutions where it's effective and it's healthy to set them? We can talk about that later, but you're right. I have a challenge with it only because I know people, they don't do it with the right intentions and they don't really do it with the right strategy for success at all.
Yeah, I think that's important. And if you have that link handy, if you want to share it in the chat, the link to what you posted about that. But sure. I think that's that's really important. Whatever you're going to call them, it doesn't really matter what you're going to call them. It's taking and it doesn't matter when you do them. It's taking the actual steps to make it successful because you're trying to achieve those things.
That's exactly right. I'm going to post it now. That's a good idea, Cheryl. Let me go ahead and post it.
Thanks, Jay. So we wanted to talk about, some of the things that are most important. So we all, have certain things that we'll put on there that on our resolutions every year or our goals quarterly or whatever it is. But a lot of times we don't stop to think about what's really important. What are the most important things to us? And are our goals for the year or the month or whatever our goal time frame is, do they really line up with what is most important to us? And so one of the things that is really important, especially right now, is self-care. So do we have any goals that are related to taking care of ourselves? You know, especially with the stress of living through a global pandemic and everything else that's been going on right now, everybody, for the most part, at some point or another is feeling overwhelmed or tired, or just has too much on their plate and can't do anything else, or feeling a lack of motivation, all that kind of stuff. And it's especially important right now to really take care of yourself. We have a couple people here on the call that do a lot of stuff with self-care. Jackie or Tanya, I don't know if you wanted to contribute any ideas. Tell us a little bit about yourself and any ideas you might have. No pressure to participate, but if you have any ideas for how you can take care of yourself this year, we would love to hear them.
It's, I guess, Tanya, are you going first? So should I go? Hello, everyone.
Hey, Jackie.
All right. Well, Cheryl, thank you so much. Thank you. So I'm Jackie. I'm with, I do Mary Kay. I do skincare and woman empowerment sessions and, facials and so forth. So when it comes to self-care, I realize that it's important to balance your life out, because I do find a lot of women and even men, they just get so overwhelmed with everything. And when I speak to them, they don't even have time to like really spend 10 minutes in the bathroom. You know, everything is like hot baths, like they're in and out, and they don't even have time to focus or even think or sort, like get the day started on a fresh start. I also learned in 2020, one is that self-care, like you could look good on the outside, but how are you feeling on the inside? And I just wanted to thank Lourdes who introduced me to Melaleuca as well. So I'm feeling my best ever inside out and outside, inward and outside. So like I'm eating right, maintaining my health, and my immune system is like on check. So I'm living proof of what self-care really is and balancing it all out. So it's a really, really good feeling. And because of that, I feel that I accomplished so much more last year than I ever have in many years combined.
You also moved closer to the beach, right? Jackie.
Yes. So because of that, the scenery was everything, and the long drives back to New York to do certain things or see certain people. I took that time to always connect with my mom, which I wasn't doing on a regular basis. And I took that time to connect with my team members. And even those long drives, they were therapeutic. I was able to think ideas through, and the best ideas I came up with were done on the Garden State Parkway.
I don't think I've ever heard that before. But that's great suggestions. Lourdes, Tanya, anyone else have any suggestions for self-care, taking care of ourselves and making that a priority?
Well, for self-care, I am huge in, I'm into wellness a lot. Like for the past couple of years, I've actually gone gung-ho. I've lost 40 pounds. I'm just changing my eating habits, changing what I allow in here, because then that's another thing. I remember when the pandemic first hit us, I literally almost the first month, I would say, I was in tears every day and just nervous and frightened. And I found myself sitting around thinking the worst. And that's not like me. I'm normally a very positive, outgoing person, but the media and just this whole scare brought my everything, my self-worth, my confidence, everything it tanked. So I just stopped that altogether, shut off the TV, and I started honing in on like personal development, audiobooks. I swear by audiobooks. listen, I no longer have the mentality, I no longer have the, I call myself, I always say I have ADD, adult ADD, because I no longer have the patience nor just the focus to sit there and read. But I can be listening to an audiobook while I'm doing dishes. I can be listening to audiobooks while I'm driving. I used to love, I mean, I still love listening to music. Music is another, self-care for me. But the way I feel when I hear Tony Robbins or Dean Graziosi or one of these guys, just talk about, even Jay, I've heard your podcast a couple of times. Yeah, so, it's like, man, when you start listening to that and you get that in your head, oh my gosh, it's like a game changer. You don't want to hear negative Nellies anymore. So between personal development, that was really big for me. And then just, again, wellness, putting whole foods in my body as opposed to no more processed crap, no more anything that, has an advertisement attached to it. I don't want it. I want just whole foods, just fruits, vegetables, the solid eggs and just solid good stuff. No more chocolate candy crap. I love my dark chocolate, but that's like a little splurge in the self-care but dark chocolate is good, or red wine, stuff like that is good. So that's what I would say is what I use for self-care.
Thanks, Otis. And thanks for that reminder too, because one of the things that I love about when we all get together and talk is it just can sometimes just remind you of something so simple that you forget. So like I don't spend as much time in the car anymore, but when I do, a lot of time I like to listen to talk radio because it just makes me feel like I'm not alone in the car. And I listen to it a lot. And a lot of time that's news. And I forgot about listening to podcasts in the car. So it's something so simple. So it's still somebody talking to me, so I don't feel like I'm alone in the car. But it's a totally different tone than just listening to news and current events. So thanks, that was a really good reminder of something so simple that we forget. And yes, we could remember to listen to Jay's radio show. Anyone else have anything you want to add about self-care and wellness, taking care of ourselves?
Yes, definitely. Me, Monica here. Hi, everyone. Especially, for those who are parents, it's super important to take care of ourselves first. Sometimes we forget, like we need to take care first so we can take care of everyone, in the family. And for me, my therapy, is working out. 6:30 a.m., 3-5 times during the week I'm working out. And of course, the kids are sleeping. And then for some reason, that I didn't make it to work out or something, they wake up and they know when I didn't go to work out because my mood. So it's like, you didn't go, right, mommy? I'm like, no, and hurry because we're going to be late, right? So, and when I work out, right, everything shines and I love my kids better and my husband better. So, for me, definitely is the working out and yes, right, eating healthy and everything. But all my stress, my worries, my everything is in the working out. So I love it. And also, looking good. So it's another benefit of the working out part.
I'll add to that. I don't do the way I do is that I meditate. That's what helps me because that helps ground me and I could think clearer. And then I practice that with yoga and feng shui. So it helps me be more grounded. So then I could go about my day. So that's my self-care. So that helps me. But I think it's important to meditate because it helps you with that inner voice and you get to tune into your intuition. And that's really important because you need to listen to yourself first before anything else. So that would be my recommendation.
I just want to add some comments that Tanya's been typing into the chat. She says it's a little loud where she's at. So she said she agreed with Jackie about looking good on the outside, but how are you feeling on the inside? And talking about protein shakes and facials and massages, definitely key for mental health and self-care as well. Things that we sometimes take for granted or do as like something extra that is not part of our regular routines of taking care of ourselves. And just keep in mind, those are things that we really should be doing for ourselves on a regular basis. Another thing that is really important that we should all remember to focus on, and tonight is a perfect example of that, is our support system. Especially when the world outside is a little bit challenging and there's stress or health issues or overwhelm or any of that kind of stuff. Having a support system is just really key. And that sometimes takes effort. That sometimes takes a, hey, are you going to join us here tonight? Because you'll feel better after. And that sometimes works in a way with people saying to me, Cheryl, are you sure you're going to do that event? Because you know we feel better after we do that. So it's important to have a support system, a network of people, whether it be a spouse, a friend, colleagues, things like we do here with the networks, where we're really supportive of each other and really want to see each other do well and be successful in whatever it is that each other wants to do. It's just really important to make sure that we have that support system for ourselves and to be that support system for others. Is there anything anybody wanted to add about support systems that you think would be something important or takeaway on that? No pressure. All right, moving on. Another important thing that we want to talk about, making sure that we pay attention to when we're doing our goals and visions and resolutions, is living in the moment. And that means a lot of different things for different people, but it's being present in whatever it is that we're doing. It's enjoying, taking time to celebrate the small things, being grateful, expressing gratitude, and something that has become a bit of a buzzword, but is really, really true. And it's do more of what you love. And that's really important because a lot of us spend a lot of time doing a lot of things that are just tedious, whether it's a 9-to-5 that we're not really interested in, or busy work, or whatever it is. Doing what you love is really, really important. And one of the people that really has a good story about this is Gloria. So Gloria, do you want to share a little bit about your journey in discovering about shifting and doing what you love?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I could speak for a lot of people that followed their parents' passions while growing up. You really didn't pursue what you wanted to do as an adult. So I went through a long journey of trying different things. I wound up in real estate, which I'm very grateful for. I've been practicing real estate now for over 18 years. So it's been a long time. But in that path, I got to the point that there was something missing. So in the last 2 years, I decided to become a feng shui consultant. So I've been practicing that, and I started this year with the London School of Feng Shui. So in addition to my real estate practice, I'm going to be able to service clients, not just locally, but internationally. So it's aligning with my path of what I want to do, working with everyone, not just people, locally. So it's really exciting. But I think part of that journey was following my own voice. And I learned the hard way because I kept disregarding it. I kept saying, no, this is just in my head. I need to do this. I have to commit to this, but I wasn't 100% happy. So I had to really listen and say, okay, what is it that I want to do? So the meditating, the yoga, taking the time out, putting myself first, practicing, my spiritual practice as well. That helped me make the decision that I wanted to follow my feng shui path. So that's what I've been working on, but it hasn't been easy, right? Because a lot of times we get setbacks, right? But we need to go through that. And it's not always going to be easy, but that's part of the journey, because I feel like you go through things and it does make you stronger. And the things that you go through, you're able to help other people too. So I just my advice is just follow your intuition, whatever it is. If you're in something, you're doing something you're not happy in, Really ask yourself those deep questions. Why am I doing this?
And I think, Jay, what you encounter a lot of people like that as well when you're doing interviews for your show, right? A lot of people that are either rediscovering what they want to do or really truly find their passion.
Yeah, you know, the sad part about it is that sometimes people, because they don't take the time to think about exactly what Gloria said, you get caught up with the running of the day, and before you know it, the day runs you and you don't run the day. And you find yourself in a routine where you're not doing what you feel you were called to do. I got to tell you something. I would say if most people took an honest assessment and they really would ask themselves the tough questions, very simple questions, but tough ones. Am I happy? Am I happy with what I'm doing? And am I happy with who I'm doing it with? Right? I think the answers that they already know they're going to give is the reason why they don't bother asking those questions. Because it's difficult to answer questions where you know that it's going to really hit you in the gut when you find out I'm not happy with what I'm doing, I'm not happy with the life I have, I'm not happy with my marriage, I'm not happy with this, I'm not happy with the way I look. But when you say you're not happy with something, it's going to force you to take action. And the action is what people aren't willing to take because it's hard. And you know, you get comfortable. And when you get comfortable, that's a dangerous place.
Yes.
But that's where most people are. I mean, think about this. Why would somebody, and I understand you got to make money, speaking if you are at a job, right? And even businesses too. But why would somebody go to a place every day? And I was in that group. This was me when I was doing social work. You go to a place every day. You don't like the people that you're going to go work with. You don't really like what you do. You don't like what they pay you. You don't even like where you're going if you stay there long enough. And sometimes you get stuck in traffic going to that place every day for an hour. But yet people do it day after day, year after year, because they get caught in a rut. And the only thing different between the rut and a burial plot is the dimensions. The only thing different, but that's how people live. So I think, you know, that's part of something that I call reassessing. And it goes to what Gloria said. It goes to what a lot of you guys were talking about, which, by the way, great feedback, guys. About 2 weeks ago, on the radio show, I talked about reassessing and reassessing your life. And I do this every year. I look at the end of the year in December and I say, okay, let me reassess what I did this year, what I ate, my vitamins, supplements, the workouts, the people that I met. And if it didn't serve me, then why would I want to do that again? Why would I want to invest another 12 months doing the stuff that I already know after 12 months? It didn't do anything for me. Let me go find something else to do, because insanity is doing that again. But people don't take time to do the reassessing. And another year comes and goes. That's why resolutions, another year comes and goes. And you're in the same place.
That's pretty much what happened to me when it was painful for me to make the changes. I decided to end a long marriage. And the reason was because I was being held back by a lot of like the cultural upbringing, right? You know, you need to stay in a marriage and all these things. I was bringing other people's beliefs that weren't even my own. And I needed to let go of that. And it was painful. But with that came so many changes. So the same thing came through when I decided that I needed to pursue another path. I really needed to listen to myself. But you really have to ask yourself those tough questions. And I think the reason people don't do it is because of the pain. It's painful, but you have to go through that. That's part of the process. And it's really not that bad. Once you cry a lot, let it out, you'll be fine. You really will be.
Talking on mute. I think we have a lot of people on this call who've actually gone through a lot of those types of journeys of really assessing what they were doing, if they wanted to be doing that. And I think, you know, with all the bad stuff that comes with this pandemic, I think a good thing that comes from this pandemic is kind of a forced awakening. You're forced to reassess a lot of the status quo that's been your life, and decide if that's what you want to continue doing. And you can take what you were doing and pivot it a little bit, which is what a lot of us did right at the beginning in 2020. We were like, oh man, we got to do something quick, and kind of just pivoted to do a few different things. But then, you know, a lot of us really just took inventory and decided to make some changes. I know, I don't know if Tanya is quiet enough in Tanya's background to talk, but I know that Tanya's definitely been through that journey of learning what she really likes to do and making that from a side hustle into her full-time thing now. So I'm speaking for her because she has the construction going on in the background, but Tanya, if you can chime in, please feel free, or anybody else. And I know Brittany, I know you were talking about this a little bit yesterday about how you and Alyssa were talking about what stuff you actually really get joy out of doing and maybe spending more time doing that. So I think that's important for all of us to think about.
Yeah, I think we were just talking about this, about how Alyssa and I do a lot of random things like dog walking and working here and working there and doing that. And we were like, we should just be putting our focus into the things that make us happier and what we really want to grow. So I think, yeah, that's definitely, it's funny that we just had that little reassessment like yesterday.
There are no coincidences. Anybody else have anything you want to talk about or share about living in the moment, doing what you love, any of that kind of stuff? I see Tanya's walking around. Tanya, are you trying to talk, or are you talking to your contractors? You're on mute. Tanya, you're on mute.
Oh, it would be nice if I took it off from you, right? Here I am. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, they're working on my bathroom downstairs, but the banging of taking out the tubs and everything, I was like, let me put it on mute because it's not working out right now for me. So I figured, let me just step outside. But yeah, I heard your last statement. So I feel like, you guys know I'm all for multiple streams of income, but you know, there are people that will overexert themselves. When I say overexert themselves, I mean like they'll do in their mind mentally. Everybody wants to do more than one thing. They want to do this, they want to do that. It's there in the mind, but is it there in the heart? You have to be passionate about something you're doing. I'm passionate about everything that I do. You guys know I love to bake. I love my skincare. I love my network marketing businesses. It's my passion. Do I have more than one stream of income? Yes, I do. But it's because I just love doing all three of them. Now, it has gone to a point where I have almost ran down myself. So getting back to a couple of steps before in conversations about taking care of yourself, I have to learn how to do that myself because I'm always taking care of everybody else, whether it's doing facials, whether it's household stuff, whether it's baking, whether it's supporting others, you know. But then I turn around and I said, you know what, Tanya needs to start taking care of herself. Like, I'll tell you what to do. I can tell you how to take care of yourself. I'll be there for you. But it's like, okay, now Tanya, who's going to be there for you? So, I went a little bit, I'm sorry, I went behind the scenes from the last conversation, but I'm just trying to catch up now as far as with taking care of yourself and wellness stuff. But I feel like, you know, you have to just do what makes you happy in general. That's pretty much what it all boils down to. I was just thinking about, you know, starting another journey in life, but I said, you know what, let me just stick with what I'm doing right now because too much can just be too much.
Thank you, Tanya. So, and another thing we wanted to talk about today, so we have, we've talked about self-care, we've talked about having a support system, We talked about living in the moment. So whether that's gratitude, doing more of what you love, reassessing and exploring when you're trying to figure out what your goals are. Another important piece of all that is actually the planning piece. And it's planning for the unexpected is what you would usually call it. But nowadays, the unexpected tends to become the expected. And on that note, I'm going to turn it over to Monica to talk about making sure when we're talking about all these goals and planning and resolutions, all that, make sure that we're covering the bases for ourselves with our planning too.
Hey, thank you. Can you hear me? My internet, I don't know if it's mine or yours, but it was going up and down. Can you hear me okay, everyone? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Okay, awesome. That's great. So, like we were talking about it with the new year, everyone has new resolutions, right? And usually it's like losing weight and make more money, right? To become rich in 1 year. So I wish, we can be that easy, but more than anything, talking about money and get ready for the unexpected, I think it is a good timing, like we were talking about it, to reassess how was your 2021, right? It's like, okay, how was, talking about money, right? How was your 2021? And how much you want to grow, right? Even if you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, or even if you are an employee and you have a salary, right? There's always room for improvement. And I highly suggest, it was check your numbers, always check your numbers and see, how much is your goal that you want to do in 2022. And then something that really works for me is, when you think about a year is 12 months, right? But if you divide it by month or even by weekly, it is easier, right? In your brain. And also, the activities that you need to do to hit that monthly goal. And that's going to help you to have a better financial goal for 2022, right? And talking about, the vision board, I was able to do one with Cheryl in 2022, right? And then 2021 happened, and then 2022, right? It's like something that I like to do is to mix the reality with my goals, right? Because the brain doesn't know exactly which ones are real and which one are not real yet. So that's something really good also that I like to do about in my vision boards. And also, how does it feel, right, when you hit your goal, right? So I'll also, yes, visual, you have the vision, you can see it, but also try to imagine how does it feel when you accomplish your goal, right? So that was the bright side about, the money. And now, the really like sad part, not the sad part, like Cheryl said, the planning part, right? When I talk to, I've been doing this, I've been a financial advisor for almost 12 years now. And when we talk about goals, and when I talk about goals, more than anything, talking about retirement for business owners and entrepreneurs, it's like we don't plan, right? We don't reassess every year. Once I met with this lady, and she said, hey, Monica, I want to retire in 2 years. I'm like, okay, great, So I start asking questions and everything else. She didn't even have a clue how much money she needed to live after retirement, right? And I do understand, life can be busy. We're always busy with our business or your family, etc. But if we don't know exactly what we need for a specific goal, talking about right now retirement, how do we know how to get there, right? So it's like, okay, when you retire, how much money you need, how much money you have right now, where are you putting your money, where are you putting your assets, and what is the magic number, right? Like you need to retire, right? And to prepare, for the unexpected, it's just important to talk about just having some savings, right? Because you don't know what's going to happen. It's just, okay, how much are your needs? How much money do you need at least to cover your rent, food, cell phone? What are the needs, right? And try to have at least 3 to 6 months, right? And your savings account to cover up. And I know, sometimes savings can be tricky, but if you start saving, $5 every week, $10 every week, to create a habit, it's going to be there. And now with technology, technology is amazing, right? Most of the banking is online now, and you can create automatic savings from your checking to your savings. So also, it's always good to start doing that. And yes, plan for the unexpected, right? That's why the beauty, and that's why life insurance is there, disability insurance is there, and just try to protect yourself, try to protect your income, and try to protect your family. So I don't know if there's any questions, comments about it, about money, money, money.
I have, well, two things that jump out from what you said. One of them is the habits thing. And that's huge for any type of goal, resolution, anything that we're really working towards, whether it's something like Gloria talking about meditation. So for me, that's still been a challenge to meditate as much as I want to. Like I keep forgetting or not doing it or putting it off. And then I can tend to get very like discouraged if I don't meet the goal. Like, oh, I didn't meditate every day this week, I failed. So I think then, doing the small habit of saying you're going to do 3 times a week or at the same time, or, a minute a morning or something like that at the same time. And just doing those small little steps and until it's a habit. And then you can grow upon that. And that's really, really important. So even as something like you were saying of putting $5 aside a week or every 2 weeks or whatever it is, the small little steps to make something a habit is just a wonderful way to make strides on whatever your goals are. And then the other thing I picked up from what you said is about the vision board and putting on the vision board a combination of what you want to do and what you've already done. And that worked because I put on the vision board that I think the one that I did with you in 2020, I put a nice picture of Niagara Falls because I had been to Niagara Falls. And then I put a picture of the lighthouse in Montauk, Long Island, because I had never been to the end of Long Island. And then we made it there. And it turns out that Montauk, Long Island is one of our absolute favorite places now to go. So it'll be someplace we go to multiple times every year. But it's just so true that you put those things together on this vision board and you don't even realize the brain, like you said, it doesn't know what you did already, what you didn't do. It's all one big thing and it's accomplished. So now I got to find another picture.
Yeah, that's awesome. And also, for the habits right now, there's an app I started using because I'm studying a new thing too. The reminders, the cell phone can send track of the new habit you need to create. And there's so many apps, right? So it's pretty cool. So I started doing something and yes, I'm on my 8-day straight, And also it's not because sometimes we don't want to do it. It's just like, we forget, right? Because it's not a habit, right? It's not like a need to go and eat. But then also the brain, technology is amazing. So it's like the reminder. I have it at 1:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. Boom, my reminders.
And you said it's an app that you're using for that?
There's an app, yeah.
That's a good idea. Anyone else have any suggestions for how to create habits?
Even using something like your own alarm, it's the same thing. If you want to have an app, you can also actually use your alarm. I've started doing that myself, where at certain times I put the alarm on, and it's just to remind me that first of all I need to go drink water. Water is good and it's important, because that's really bad. I have a hard time drinking water throughout the day. And the other thing is just to breathe. Make sure you're breathing, you're kind of realizing where you are, enjoy the actual moment, because sometimes you just so much going on throughout the day. And that's been really helpful. And I just started doing that like a month ago.
That's a really good suggestion, and I need to do that for different things. I already have one alarm. Here's like TMI showing my age on here. Brittany knows what it is. Everywhere where we're at, no matter where we are, at 6:30 p.m., my alarm goes off on my phone reminding me to take fiber. Maybe I need to have a little bit more fun stuff on that reminder to be like fiber and breathe. I don't know.
I love it. And also, you know what? Another app like is really good talking about money is called Digit. It links to your checking account and it moves money from your checking account to your app. And in this app, you can create different folders or goals, you know, like vacation, Christmas, etc. And it takes out money from your checking directly to your savings, but in a small amounts that you don't even notice. So it depends on how much money you have in your checking. Is the money like goes into your savings accounts and Digit. So that's another pretty cool app, you know, and it's free, and it takes, you know, like $3 every day or $100, it depends on how much money you have there in your checking. So that's a good one too.
I find
That is a good suggestion.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the chat right now. It's Digit, yes.
Thank
there you go.
you. Always good to have certain tips and ideas to kind of help with the goals. Hey, Patricia.
Hey. One of the ways that I try to work on creating habits is to incorporate it into my schedule or routine. So I get up every morning, and before I roll out of bed, I take my pill, right? So that means I have a water bottle. I mean, it also helps that my Tupperware water bottle will never leak, but because it gets knocked over all the time. But I don't get out of bed until I take my pill. So that's part of my routine. And then when I unpack my bag at school, out comes my pouch with my vitamins so that I can take them after I eat, because they're not, my body doesn't like them on an empty stomach. I guess we all have things that change over time as it passes. So just incorporating it and making it part of the daily routine and just having it there, so that this way it becomes almost automatic for the things that really count, right? And just having what you need available. Make it happen.
I did the same thing like when I started doing skincare stuff. Since I always get up and I brush my teeth in the morning, I put all my skincare things right next to my toothbrush. And now it's like I can feel it if I haven't like used all my products. So it's like I incorporated it into something that I was already doing every day, and that helped me to make a new routine.
I'm sure Jackie and Tanya are very, very glad to hear that.
Yes, Brittany, I hear that all the time from my clients, like, oh my God, I forget to use the night cream. I'm like, well, put it where you charge your phone at night. Oh, great idea. The cleanser, like replace that with the, instead of the bar soap, have the cleanser in the shower. Oh, great idea. So it's always being strategic. But for me, I learned in 2021, the habit that I developed is that I got myself a planner and a pencil. And I got so organized because every time I spoke to someone, like I jot down, like I have to call this person tomorrow at 2:00. And I became so strategic where like I even have a facial log by appointment, and like, I don't overbook myself, and it just keeps me on track. And one thing I do, and don't think I'm crazy, is that I wake up at 5 a.m. There's this like prayer club. And it's like so empowering, like these successful businesswomen in our industry. And it's like, because Mary Kay said that if you got up at 5 o'clock every morning, you gave yourself one extra work day. And so we have the weekends to ourselves. And I don't find myself working anymore Saturdays and Sundays. And then the best thing I did was that because I'm working from home, and of course, I don't like clutter, I don't like mess, and I do love to cook, I get the hard things out in the morning, like the cleaning, the dishes, I make food so early in the morning. So, and then I can get into work and dive in. And it doesn't matter if I have a marathon of work going on, but I knew that the bed is made And that's important. We were trained to, when you get up from bed, make that bed, because if that bed looks so comfortable and cozy, you're gonna go right back in, right? And even if you're working from home, dress up and look great, like as if you're going to work. So, I mean, those are the habits that I developed in 2021 that I think made me so much more productive, and getting the hardest things out in the beginning of the day, so that at night when I'm tired, it's okay. I didn't get something done, but the hardest thing, I got it done.
Those are great pointers for the whole work from home thing, because that really throws off your routine. And that can really also contribute to feeling isolated, and, you know, not having contact with others except for via Zooms and stuff like that or whatever. But yeah, being able to have some sort of routine, you know, getting up, taking a shower, putting your makeup on, getting out of your pajamas, all those little things that, you know, can have such an impact on just how you feel for the rest of the day and the energy that you have. So I think that's really, really important. All right, so we talked today about some ideas for some goals for this year, some things to focus on. We talked about self-care. We talked about having a support system, about living in the moment and doing more of what you love. We talked about planning for the expected, the unexpected, and just a couple of ideas about creating your goals. I mean, the first thing is we create our goals. We identify what it is that's important to us and what those goals are, and really ensure that those goals align with your direction. So if you're, you know, looking to spend more time exploring doing what you love, then your goal wouldn't necessarily be to work 3 more hours a day at your job that you don't like. So just make sure that whatever your goals are that you're identifying, that they align with what you actually want to accomplish. And that helps to determine your motivation for them. So you don't have to create like all these external motivators for those goals when it's something that you already want to be doing. Make sure that whatever those goals are, they're as specific and attainable as possible. So whether it's something like getting more sleep or getting up earlier or whatever it is. So if you're used to getting up at 8 a.m., I wouldn't set your alarm for 5 tomorrow and expect it to go very well. So you can set a goal that maybe by the end of 6 months, you want to get up at 5 a.m. That just really sounds very difficult to say about the 5 a.m. thing, because Brittany and I got up very early the other morning to take the dog to the vet, and we were like, who gets up this early? But so, yeah, so making sure that whatever the goals are, that they're specific. So you're telling yourself, okay, I'm going to get up this week at 6:30, and make it an attainable goal. And then set some sort of accountability, whether it's tell somebody about it. So you can say, hey, I'm setting a goal this week to get up earlier. You want to check in with me at the end of the week to see how I'm doing, or hey, I know Jackie's up at 5. She'll give me a call at 5:15 to make sure I'm out of bed on time. So set some sort of accountability, whether it's with yourself, with your alarm clock, with a person. Set something that can help you be accountable for the goals. And then prioritize and balance it, and believe that you can achieve these things. And also make sure that you're not too hard on yourself. So if you say you're going to get up at 6 a.m. and then one day you sleep until 9, you don't say, forget all these goals, I'm not even going to try it anymore. It's just one day. And then the next day you get up and you try it again. So just make sure that all of those things are parts of your goal setting. And the most important part of it is make sure that you're enjoying the journey of your goal, because we know life is short and we need to get as much enjoyment as we can out of the things that we're doing every day. Does anyone have anything else they wanted to add? Any ideas, any suggestions, any comments, anything? Silence.
I have a suggestion, also I'm starting to write my goals. I have like 2 specific goals that I'm working, like short-term goals in the next 6 months. So I'm writing my goals, every moment that I have. And in fact, I have like a specific notebook, like I'm writing at least 10 things that I'm grateful for every single day. And also I'm writing my goal. So it's like writing what are you grateful for and writing your goal. So I'll share with you when I hit my goal.
Thank you, Monica. So I wanted to say thank you to everyone for joining us here tonight. I know that sometimes we're overwhelmed. We've got a lot on our plates where we could be tired and not want to do anything more than what we already have to do. But I think it's really important for us to get together and help each other to be as successful as we can be in whatever those goals are that we want to do for each other. Remember that we are each other's support system, all of us, and we're here to help each other, and look forward to connecting with all of you again soon. We are planning our next event virtual again for February. It'll be the 2022 version of the Love Yourself virtual brunch that we did last year. So we're planning that. That'll be likely on a Sunday. So stay tuned for more information on that one. As always, any suggestions that you have, if there's some topic that is important to you that you want to learn more about or you want to share with us, please let me know and we will definitely make sure that we address it. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us tonight. Stay safe and happy and successful, and I wish you all the best of luck with your goals.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Night.
Night.
Bye-bye.